Good afternoon. This is Media Center, Ukraine, Odessa. Sorry for being a bit late, but we are starting our working day. On the 13th of July, the bomb shelter of the Odessa National Academic Theater of Opera and Ballet will have the close first night of the show, The Bomb Shelter, Is It Possible to Survive? We're having with us today Andrii Lyubov, director of the show, founder of the NGO Artmasternia Bloom, Hanna Misyun, associate professor of the Cultural Studies Department of the National University Odesa Polytechnic, and Yulia Kharchuk, actress in the show, actress of Vasylko Odessa Academic Ukrainian Music and Drama Theater. Mr. Lyubov, the floor is yours. Good afternoon. Our theatrical project is almost over. It started in August. Unfortunately, the idea of the show came to me after the drama theater in Mariupol was bombed. This is a documentary show. We interviewed around 40 people from different regions of our country, including Lviv, Kryvyi Rih, Kyiv, Dnipro. I did not interfere in the process, but there was the selection of this interview. For this Verbatim Documentary Theater, we selected around 10 interviews. The show is around an hour and a half. We started our work in August. The idea was supported by the European Union. We planned to finish our project in 6 months, but because of the blackouts, our actors and actresses had to leave, so there were changes. We also worked with the foundation which supported us. We had rehearsals during blackouts, but everyone coped with it. And sometimes we even supported each other. I was a bit afraid at the beginning because I used to have such types of shows, but they were never based on the interviews. And that's why I was a bit afraid how our work will affect the people whom we communicated with. But from the first interview, from the first day, I understood that after telling us about their fears, about their stories, people felt better. So that was kind of a reflection on their traumas. This is the final stage of our project now. A month ago, Nadezhda Babich addressed me, as well as Sergei Mühlberg. They are the managers of our opera and ballet theater, and offered to host our show. They wanted to support this new area, this new format for their theater. It was quite difficult for me as for director to restructure our show. But now our show can be adapted to any type of venue, for bomb shelter or for a theater. Initially, we planned our performance for the European Union for a bomb shelter, but we liked the venue of the Opera and Ballet Theater, but unfortunately, it's rather small. That's why this first night show will be closed. It will be for experts of theater. We were going to record everything and will publish that performance. But I think that with the support of local authorities, we will be able to have open shows in Odessa. Hanna, the floor is yours. Not to praise ours too much, I'd like to say that during wartime, when we are anxious, when we are nervous, when there is lack of funds. It seems that the art that was always in the background, it was not like fully supported by the state when it comes to funds, but during the wartime we can see a significant boost for the artistic community. We have immersive documentary theater now, which is quite common for Europe now for the last 15-20 years. There is the fourth wall between the audience and actors and the author and the creativity and the ideas of any show. That's why we always feel that this looks like that people only pretend that something happens on the stage. But now we have events which do not take place on the stage. They are immersive. They happen next to you. And Andrii has already mentioned that one of the challenges that we are facing are small sizes of the venues that host our show. But me, the cultural studies expert, I believe that this is kind of a gestalt therapy now, when audience together with actors don't feel anymore that this is something staged. Because this is our life now, because you have your own memories similar to what they see on the stage. Our performance, our show is based on interviews. And in such a situation, audience lives together with our actors in this small venue, which is of course more comfortable than bomb shelters that I think all of us have experienced to some extent. And the rooms of opera and ballet theater cannot be compared to real bomb shelters, but anyway, there is the lack of space there, and together with the actors, our audience, our viewers, can experience and can remember their own memory drama. We can say that our experiences are blocked somehow, and we try to focus on some events that we perceived as a victory or betrayal. But in this show, viewers, together with the actors, will live through the first days of the full-scale invasion, the first days of understanding of the horrors and absurdity of the situation that we found ourselves in after the 24th of February. And there will be catharsis, and this we will be able to clean ourselves through tears, through emotions. And this is actually the theater according to Aristotle. And this helps us to understand how we can fight or not fight with what is happening to us. And there is a small spoiler that not all heroes of our show, of this documentary theater, stayed in Ukraine, in our country. Some of them has left. And now I would like to speak about viewers' experience. the viewers will see everything close to them in that bomb shelter, and they won't have enough time to understand everything at once. But after the show, they will keep thinking about the show. They will be in dialogue with the actors or with the inhabitants of the bomb shelter, where the viewers also were during the show. For me, as for the cultural study experts, it is very important that the scenarios and that the interviews and that immersive way of communicating of the theater and authors with the viewers will develop a kind of experience and the memory culture. Because, of course, all of us have their own bulb they live in, and we have our own experience of the events that have been happening lately. And we can see other relations of people with the war, another understanding of the how to respond to these events. People can see other thoughts of other people during critical moments. And this helps to expand the semantic field of our state, of our people, and of our nation. This allows to understand what the war is in full, and I believe that this is really important. Moreover, I believe it is important for our partners, for people who sympathize and empathize with us in the European member states, to live through these together with our actors. And they will be able to immerse in the show, to better understand our emotions, our feelings. And this will make them even more active in making their governments help us. And we are very thankful for the work they do in the military and humanitarian fields. But it is very important for everyone to remember about Ukraine, because our victory depends on this as well. And I believe that this future premiere, the delivery of this artistic baby, will be an important phenomenon of our Odessa culture. Thank you very much. Yulia, the floor is yours now. Thank you. Good morning. I never thought that such project would be so difficult for me. And I adapt quite good to different events. And when the full-scale war started, I decided at once that I would stay in Ukraine together with the other Ukrainians. But when I started learning my role, I felt tears in my eyes. I started crying because I just returned to the first days of that horrors. Because I think that for everyone, those events were horrible, and people were so stressed that they didn't even understand their emotional state. And I understand the importance of our project, because there inside there are so many emotions that we haven't yet lived through, and we can't trace them fully, because there is the whole mixture of feelings, of emotions. There are so many of them that they are completely different. I have 4 characters. I play 4 characters, and I can say that all of them have their own perception of these difficult events. But every character has a lot of power. Every role gives us an answer how we can cope with such difficult situations, how we can survive them, how we can find the way out. of this difficult situation, and I can say that in the 21st century, such a situation could not be expected. No one was ready for this. I want Ukraine to become Europe, to become the part of the European Union, to be the part of the European family. We are socially developed, and we move on with a society that strives for peace and that just want to be culturally developed. This is the first experience for me, and that was quite an interesting experiment, I would say. And this is the first time I'm involved in the documentary theater. And I can say that this is a bit different from the classic theater. Because there you should always remember about your character from the very beginning to the very end. And with every character, you start, so to say, working with every viewer from the very beginning. You want to share your emotions, your experience with the viewers. And you want to feel every character. And this is quite interesting for me because the space is different, and there is no the fourth wall between the audience and the actors. And I'm thankful to the Opera and Ballet Theater for their support. And I believe that we will tell about this show, about this project to more people, and we will be able to sell tickets for people to be able to live through those events. And I believe that together it is easier to live through different events. That's what I want. That's why I want us to keep together, to be together, and to support each other. Because it seems that everyone has already somehow adapted to the situation. But if we dig deeper, we can find still a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. And with the help of the theater, with the help of such great projects, we will be able to deal with our inner emotions and to become free of pain, of horrors that we still have in ourselves, and to find strength to feel love to this world, because this love gives us strength to live on and to support our military. From the very first day, I have been in contact with many servicemen, and I know how important it is when we have strength, when we have emotions to support our military. And I think that such projects can also support our emotional spirit, and this helps us to fight on our cultural front line. And we hope that Europe will be able to see us soon. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Do we have any questions? Sorry, but I would like actually to agree with Anna and with Yulia. At the beginning, I did not expect that we will have our shows in Odessa or in Ukraine. But then there was an offer to show this show to our people, because our people at least understand what we're telling about. But the main objective of this show is not to make our war routine for Europe. There are a lot of moral traumas now. And unfortunately, we also should show this in our theater, that our Ukrainian children will be scared till the end of their lives. And it is very important to show this to Europe, that such things can happen there as well. That's why we should win. There is no other way for us. And actually, we want to apply with this project for Avignon Festival. Usually the festival does not accept such documentary performances, but I would like more people to learn about the situation of Ukraine. I'm now writing the new piece, I'm Not Afraid to Die, which is dedicated to those women who are here in Ukraine, who left Ukraine but then returned, and those women who left Ukraine and have never come back. This is the most vulnerable part of our society, and I would to communicate all their emotions, all their feelings and fears to the bigger number of people. Sometimes I feel as if my head is going to explode because of the events that I can see. And there is one more piece which is called War Verstehen. This is an absurd piece, and we know that in Europe there are people who understand and somehow the aggressor country. And with this piece, I want to show that absurdity should not damage our lives that much. We are open for cooperation with any institutions and organizations to organize our tour in Europe to raise awareness about our project, and I would like to thank you for your support as well. If you allow, I would like to add about possible prospects for Andrii, who is a very active person and who is always interested in public result, because he deals with public art in all its senses. It is very important for him to create new forms and new senses and to show new cultural and artistic artifacts to the audience. And I see here one more important element, a scientific element, which is publications of these interviews, which are the basis of documentary shows. We all believe that soon we will win, that soon we will start thinking about other things which will be more important for us. We will rebuild our country, we will give birth to new Ukrainians, we will create something, and then we will have our emotions and memories changed a lot. Memories about what we're experiencing now. That's why the interview, the documentary evidence of this war will be changed, not mutilated, but changed by new experience after our victory. When we are 100% sure that we will win, that when there will be no fear of, for example, nuclear war. And these feelings, these memories right now will be very important for research in the future. Non-fiction is becoming more popular now. These are the personal pieces of art, and that's why I believe that our interviews as material is very important. And it would be great if we can have these interviews published and translated for others to hear the voice of those who have become characters in our theater. I would like to remind that I'm looking forward to the documentary performance with the word victory, and it would be great if Andrii can have 40 interviews more about the emotions of people who learn about our victory. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us today. We've had with us Andrii Lyubov, Hanna Misyun, and Yulia Kharchuk. The premiere will take place on the 13th of April in the bomb shelter of the Odesa National Academic Theater of Opera and Ballet, and see you at noon today.